this phase of life, moving to a new community can be challenging, but can also be exciting.
And the thing that you need to do when you move to a new community, you have this huge burden of finding doctors, beauty salons.
I don't think they're called beauty salons anymore.
What are they called?
They're just like hair salons.
Okay,
or
hair salons. They don't.
stylists.
Stylists.
There you go.
Dentist, dry cleaner, food store. You go to this new community, you have to find all that.
Right.
But there's a really a bigger problem. You know, one of the major decisions that you need to make when you retire is whether or not to downsize, right size, or move to a new community.
It's a dreaded decision.
It is.
Completely
it's a
dreaded.
struggle. But what we want to talk about today is if in fact you decide to move to a new community, what are you going to do to meet new people and keep your community alive?
And how do you not just meet new people and keep your community alive, but how do you become part of a community?
Yeah, there's huge consequences when you leave one town or state and move to another. And we've done it. We're on our third go right now. You did it your whole career.
I did.
How many times did you move?
I did. The girls and I moved 5 times
So
during
you're an
my
expert.
30-year career. Well, it was different though, because I always moved with a work community
Well, the
with
kids
me.
too, and you had the
And
kids.
I had the kids that automatically created community, right? With schools and events and sports and things. But in this phase of life, moving to a new community can be challenging, but can also be exciting.
And the thing that you need to do when you move to a new community, you have this huge burden of finding doctors, beauty salons.
I don't think they're called beauty salons anymore.
What are they called?
They're just like hair salons.
Okay,
or
hair salons. They don't.
stylists.
Stylists.
There you go.
Dentist, dry cleaner, food store. You go to this new community, you have to find all that.
Right.
But there's a really a bigger problem.
Yeah, the real risk is finding that social network of friends. People with kind of the same things, which is why retirement communities pop up,
That's
right?
true.
So they pop up to put like-minded people in a like socioeconomic, in a like area, and you might like that.
Yeah, if you choose to go that way, they make it easier for you.
Right, but
We
we
didn't.
didn't choose to
No.
go that way, and a lot of people
And you
are
might not either.
choosing to go that way
Yeah.
now. And they're choosing to actually find communities or locations based on their habits or feelings, based on their passions, based on how they want to give back. So there's a lot of ways to find your community.
And when you decide to do it, you need to do it in a way that is uplifting and positive and really well thought out, because you don't want to get there and all of a sudden have regret, saying to yourself, why did I do this?
Right. Or even buyer's remorse, right? Like
Yeah.
bad decision, all you do is think backwards.
Right. And if you do that, you're gonna give yourself anxiety.
Right.
You know, you're gonna wake up every day wondering, why did we do this? I don't know anybody. I don't know my neighbors. It's too hard to meet people.
But it does take time, so that there is a period of anxiety and even some stress.
Right. And some stress is okay.
Because it does take some time for you to get into the groove and figure out where to go. I know it's taken me some time in our move to Connecticut.
But the leading problem, the biggest problem, if you do move and you cannot create community, is this feeling of loneliness.
Right.
And if you can be married and still feel lonely, you can have other people in the house and feel lonely if you don't have your friends network and golf buddies, whatever it might be. And loneliness is a tremendously bad thing to get. We'll put the link in YouTube down below about the one we did on loneliness and the medical conditions it leads to. If you haven't watched that, you need to, because it really is scary.
Today, though, we're going to walk you through some simple steps you can take to find community if you've chosen to downsize, right size, or move.
Right. And the thing is, when you make this decision or you start to the process, it really begins with some research. So, I mean, you can Google, you know, the 10 best places to live in America, or the 10 best places to live in North Carolina, or the 10 best places to live in Florida.
But you really have to know what you're looking for. So
Right.
do you want the 10 best places if that includes Las Vegas?
Right.
Or do you want the 10 best small towns? Or do you want the 10 best towns on the water? I mean, you really have to do some reflection and then start your research.
Right. And the other thing that we did is as we traveled, and we experimented a lot, but as we traveled around, we would get to those communities and we would think about looking at real estate. We did that in Newport and Boston. We've
In
done
Florida.
many cities
Right.
in Florida. In where did you go recently? Not
Avalon, New Jersey.
yeah, the Jersey Shore.
We did it in the
Long
Hamptons.
Island, the Hamptons. So we figured out where it really was a process of elimination. We don't want to be here.
Right.
But when you do move, you want to understand why you did it. So you have to put a lot of good thought into it.
And I think
you wanna-
I think you also have to be flexible. You know, it's not a square peg in a round hole time of your life, right? You have time, you have flexibility. That's really the big retirement win. And when you have time and flexibility, these decisions that are ominous to think about,
Right.
and sometimes you dread them. You know, if you give yourself time and flexibility, you do some research and some reflection, you might be able to nail it.
So we went through this process ourselves. And stage one for us was to buy a vacation home, which is what we're in right now. And we bought this home 6 years ago. And it was a vacation home. It was our second home. We were still working. The girls were still in high school. We were living a great life down in New York, but we'd come up here on weekends. And
Right.
sometimes we get long weekends. But we never thought that this would be our primary home.
And it was never
Right.
set up that way
It wasn't.
either, quite
it's a
honestly.
small home. It doesn't have room.
Yeah, it's a 2-bedroom home and we have 6 kids, so
Yeah.
you know, you do the math. So we never thought it would be our primary home, and for a woman's perspective, it's a home built in the 1700s, so it doesn't have great closets.
Has plumbing.
It does have plumbing,
Has indoor plumbing now.
Yeah.
And heat.
Yeah.
Didn't used to.
but closet space was tough.
Yeah. So then we retired. So in 2018, we left our careers, and we sold our primary home in New York. But we didn't completely exit. So
We didn't exit that community.
We didn't. What we did
Right.
was we sold the home and we rented a 3-bedroom
Townhouse. Yeah.
downtown in the city where we lived. The girls were still in college. We still had roots down there. We rented it for 2 years. We didn't know how long it would be. But frankly, what happened is the girls didn't come back much. They were in college, and then COVID hit, and then they didn't come back at all. And frankly, we didn't live there the second year of the lease because of COVID.
Right.
So the stage 3 was, though, that we moved here.
Full time.
Full time, which we hadn't planned on doing, but we did.
So if you go back to stage 1 when this was our vacation home, we had made some inroads into the community, but we were vacationers. We were
Right.
we were the weekend family, right? We weren't really part of the community.
We weren't like the in crowd. We weren't cool.
we didn't ground
weren't-
our roots. We didn't find our doctors until this stage 3 when
Right.
we actually moved full time, and we had to find doctors and dentists and hairstylists and dry cleaners and veterinarians and all the things
Yeah.
that you have in your real life community.
And that all happened this year back in March.
Yeah.
All right, the lease
So it's
was
only
up,
been
we
about
moved-
6 months.
Yeah, and then what did we do? In May.
And then we decided we were going to move to Florida.
So we bought a home in Florida in May. So that's stage 4 for us. That starts November 5th. We're driving down there, and we've got moving trucks, moving things. So now we're going to be back to two homes.
And this in Connecticut will be our
Our
vacation home again.
So we're going to live in Florida, but going to Florida to a whole new city, we have to do this all over again to meet people and stores and restaurants and yoga studio
And it takes a
gyms
sincere
and
effort.
my hardware store. We need to join a golf club. We really want to make golf now part of our retirement phase.
In the winter. Yeah.
So we can play golf all year. So we really haven't done golf in about 8 years, and we want to bring that back in. So stage 4 for us is moving to Florida and then having this in the summer.
Right. Converting this back to our second home. But it'd be interesting to hear from you, and if you put a note below, what stage are you in? Because the thing I will tell you is don't feel like it's forever.
Right.
You can change where you are as long as you do it with the right mindset.
Yeah. Our experience in Essex, we talked about our first year on weekends, and it was a slow integration because the community has history. Families lived here for generations and generations. Our home is 300 years old.
Right.
I don't know how many families have lived in here, but we're brand new. And again, temporary. only in the summer.
But once we moved here full time, and I think this is really the heart of what we wanted to get,
Right.
and I want to get through this. Once we moved here, there was 8 or 9 things that we did to root in the community, and it's given us a path for what we need to do when we move to Florida.
All right, so the first thing we did was we got active in my old university, and we're mentoring students, and we went on some of the advisory boards there, which has been a great way to meet people.
So volunteering
Right.
as a general
Right.
topic. We moved our business here from New York in order, again, to get some roots.
We joined the local Facebook community, and we met a lot of people that way using social media, so that was really helpful to us.
We also joined the Board of Trade so that we could meet other business owners and start to network a little bit.
Now, if you follow us on social media, we're boaters. So the fifth thing we did was we joined a yacht club, and we've met great people in that club as well.
And then we reintroduced ourselves to our neighbors as full-time residents. So it'll be an interesting conversation when we tell them we're moving to Florida.
And honestly, it might sound weird, but we actually knock on people's doors and introduce ourselves and tell them we live down the street. We'd love to say hello. Be surprised who you meet. Some people are not really interested in having more friends, but you
But a lot of
meet
people.
enough people, you're going to find common people to hang out with.
We also
And
then hosted some dinner parties. We joined local Facebook groups. It's a great way to hear and see what's going on. And then I joined a yoga studio to find some community with like-minded people who also were interested in yoga and meditation.
So this process is difficult. It takes effort and it takes energy.
But it's
it
rewarding.
It is rewarding, and it shouldn't be a reason or create fear in you to not do it because of that.
Right.
Because we're living this wonderful fluid retirement where we're going to be in Florida now. It's going to be healthy all winter for us, and we're going to be up here in the summer. But you've got to get out and make it happen, because sitting at home and getting lonely was not an option for us, and it shouldn't be for you.
Now listen, if you enjoyed this, please share it with your friends, and also subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below.
And don't forget to join our free Facebook community. The link to that is in the notes below. We want to thank you for listening, and we look forward to being with you again.